Hello and welcome. You are now looking at Teachable.com, and Teachable is a cloud-based platform that allows you to create online courses, to deliver them, as well as to have them paid for and to receive revenue from your students and or customers. Teachable allows you to customize the platform in order to work with your brand. It's made for individuals that already have access to their own source of traffic in order to drive people to their courses. The company does have an affiliate program which will allow you to earn 30% commissions on individuals that start teaching through your access link. The company does have a marketplace of courses made available by teachers inside of Teachable. Now in this course, we will walk through the process of setting up your course on Teachable, as well as integrating other platforms with it in order to allow you maximum flexibility in using the cloud-based platform. Finally, the biggest benefit in using Teachable is the fact that you will be uploading your videos to a platform, and that platform will be hosting the videos as well as assuming the bandwidth within your courses. That means that when you are looking at the pricing, you want to keep this in mind, as you will not be paying a fee for additional hosting. Welcome back. Now from the home page, what we're first going to do is we're going to take a look at the pricing as of the recording of this video. And you'll be able to see the prices for a monthly breakdown depending on whether you intend to pay for the courses on an annual basis or a monthly basis. What you'll notice is that if you choose to pay for the courses month by month, the price is going to be slightly higher than if you pay for it on an annual basis. Again, you'll notice that in all of the pricing, unlimited videos, unlimited courses, and unlimited hosting are all a part of your Teachable program. Also, you'll have integrated payment processing. You'll be able to manage your students, create quizzes, as well as not be charged for any free courses that you create. Now, you can start the process with a limited course by clicking this link that says Get Started. What you'll then need to do is to write in some identifying information. You're then going to create the name of a school. You'll then create a new school. Teachable then collects some information, and you'll be asked to answer some questions. You'll see a message at the top when you log in that you'll be asked to verify your account information. You'll then want to log in through the link in your email. And then your free trial school will then be created. Welcome back. Now once you have your school available, you're going to want to click on your school. You'll typically then see that you have a dashboard available to you. And if you've used the trial school, you're going to notice at the top that says your school is not live yet. Teachable will ask that you participate inside of their live webinar. Once you've signed up, the next step will be for you to create a product inside of Teachable. And this is the process that we will be walking through in this course, walking through teaching of a course, as well as scheduling a time for coaching. You'll be able to customize your school, and that is a step to the process. You'll also then be able to set up your domain name. And what you'll be doing here is you'll be setting up a domain that will be the prefix to Teachable.com. Now these are 4 steps that you will need to have completed before you can launch your school. And what you'll notice here is that your school is going to be grayed out until you complete these processes. You'll also notice at the bottom that you will start a trial, and that trial will last for 14 days. Now the trial that you'll be working with, according to Teachable, will be its professional plan, which is its middle tier plan. So you'll want to be aware of that as you utilize the features. You'll also want to be aware of this when you decide to upgrade your account, and that account will then be part of the professional tier. Welcome back. Now when we come to the dashboard, inside the login area in Teachable, there are some things that you're going to want to be aware of. The first thing you're going to see is going to be your profile. You'll have your email address as well as your name here. You can click on top of that profile, and what you can do is you can then change this so that you can have something to appear the way you want it to appear. Now, in terms of the profile images, Teachable does pull from your Gravatar account. If you don't have a Gravatar account, you can create one here. And you'll notice then that you'll be able to use this Gravatar across the web. Now, if you already have a Gravatar, you can then change your email address inside of Teachable to that Gravatar account. What we're going to do now is we're going to create a Gravatar account. We're then going to click Create Your Own Gravatar. Now, what you'll basically be doing is setting up a WordPress.com account. So you're going to put in your name, email address, and then your password. You'll then need to confirm inside of your email account. You'll then activate your Gravatar account. What you'll then do is you will click your profile. You'll then change your profile photo. You'll then add in your photo. What you'll then do is you'll write in your name and then your public display name in your Gravatar area. You'll then save your profile details. And when you come back to your profile and then you refresh, you should see your profile image or your Gravatar image inside of your Teachable account. What you'll then see is you'll see the My Schools area, and this is where you can create another school for another purpose. And so what you can do here is you can click this link. It says to create another school, and you're just going to go back through the name your school process. You'll be able to do this at this dashboard. What you can then do is you can take a look at your settings. That brings you back to your profile settings. You can then take a look at your billing. And this is where, if you are going to be paying for your Teachable account, you can add in your card information. And once you've done that, you will have configured your initial settings. Welcome back. What we're going to do now that we have set up our school is we're going to enter the school. And what we're going to do first is we're going to come to the left side menu and we're going to work on our school site. So we're going to click this link. You have 4 areas of customization for your school. You can add in a site logo, a homepage background, and a favicon that will appear in the tab for individuals' browsers. You can also control the opacity of the homepage background. In terms of the site logo, what you're going to notice is that that recommended format is going to be 250 by 60 pixels, and you can upload a JPEG or a PNG file. So that means then if you have an existing image, what you can do is you can take your native image editor and you can edit down the size. We're going to use the native Microsoft program. We're going to click resize, and what we're going to do is we're going to size it based on the dimensions that were given to us by Teachable. We're going to turn off the aspect ratio and we're going to size down the image. We're going to click OK. We're then going to save this as our new image. What we're now going to do is to upload that image to the site logo area. Our upload will then be complete. You can then upload your homepage background. The recommended format is now going to be 440 pixels by 780 pixels. And one option is going to be that you can click Upload Image, and you can use an existing image already inside of Teachable. And we're going to select this image and click Select One File. We're then going to click Upload. Our upload will then be complete, and we then have a homepage background. And we're going to do the same thing for the favicon. Once we've done that, we can then click Save. What we can then do is click Preview to look at our changes. And you can then preview your dashboard. What you can now do is customize other aspects. You can change the font for your school and your courses, and you can add in custom colors if you have something that you're trying to match inside of your logo. Once you've done that, you can then click Save. Welcome back. We are going to continue on the left side menu of our site settings. We're next going to work with our domains. And basically, this is where you can confirm what you want your school domain to be. You can then write in a different domain and then confirm it. Now, while you can add multiple domain names inside of your Teachable account, you can only make one your primary. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to choose one to be your primary domain, and then that will serve for your Teachable domain. You're also going to have a navigation area. Now, the navigation may not make sense until you actually begin to start creating real courses for your site. However, you can customize your homepage settings. So you can customize what an individual is going to see when they are logged out. You can customize what an individual is going to see when they are logged in terms of your site pages. And if you keep in mind that this is going to be school specific, then you'll be able to determine how you want this school to be treated. You can add in a specific link to your navigation bar. So for example, what we can do is we can click add a link. We can then determine where we want that link to show up. We can then write in the text. We can determine whether we want this to be open in a new tab, and we can determine who is going to see this individual link. We can determine if it is going to be viewed by everyone or just the individuals that are logged in or just the individuals that are going to be logged out. So what we're going to do here is click add link. We can undertake the same process in the footer area. So for example, we can click add link. The location is going to be in the footer. We can write in the text and the URL. Once we do that, we can click add link. Then we'll have a tab that will be visible in the actual footer of our Teachable site. And you'll be able to see this in your school. If you click this link, you'll see there that your link will then be directed to the individual site that you created. You'll also see here in your menu the link that you created for the menu. What you can also do is you can write in your site bio. We're going to click on bios here. And what you're going to do, you're going to customize the bio for the instructor of the school. What you can do then is you can write in your headline and then your image. Now this is not going to be the same as your profile image. This is going to appear in your course and in your school. So what you're going to do is you're going to write in your bio. Once you've done that, you'll then click save. If you have other individuals that will be participating with you, you can add their bios in this area. So for example, we can click in add bio. We can add in that individual's image. And we can write in their bio. And if you refresh the page, you'll then see that individual's bio will then be part of your bio section. What we're going to do here is stop the video, and we're going to pick it up from the pages element inside of your site settings. Welcome back. What we're now going to do is go to the pages tab. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to customize the pages for this school in the way that you want them to appear. Now what you can do is you can first preview the page as it's going to look. You're going to see that you're going to have a home page, you're going to have your privacy policy, and your terms of use. What you can also do is to customize each one of these pages for the individual school. So for example, what you can do here is you can click on this edit button, and you can then customize this page according to the existing banner. You can upload a new image, and you'll be able to see that image as your banner. If you don't like it, you can click on top of the image, delete it, and then the banner image will then go away. But you have several design elements that you can customize for this, your home page, in terms of color as well as background images. You can also write in and customize your school name. If you click on top of that image, what you're going to be able to do is to write in your school name. You can customize your subheading. You can customize your button, or you can take away the button altogether. And what you can do is you can delete an entire block from your home page. Once you've done that, you can add an entire block back to your home page. And you can do it according to the elements that are given to you here inside of Teachable. Once you've completed your customization, you can then go back to the page elements and you can customize each page. You can preview first your privacy policy and then customize it. You can then go back. You can preview your terms of use page and then you can customize it. You can also add a page to your school site. You can click on Add New Page. And basically what you can do then is you can start building your page based on how you want it to appear. And you're going to use the block formula that you saw on the home page according to those things that you want to be on your page. You have the ability to delete pages, publish them, or even unpublish them. And once you've unpublished them and you have done your edits, you can publish them back. Welcome back. Now, there are 4 more elements inside of your site customization. The first is going to be your comment area. You're going to notice that you have that no comments have been made on your lectures, obviously because you haven't placed any lectures inside of Teachable. Now, in terms of your comment settings, you'll need to go to the general settings area. Now, for your reference, we will be customizing the general settings in another video. So basically here in the general settings, you'll be able to determine how you want comments to be administered in your courses. You can disable comment attachments. You can also disallow multi-level threading of responses, or you can allow them. You can enable comment moderation, or you can disallow it. Once you make any changes to your comment area, you can then click Save. Once you've done that, what we're going to do is go back to the site area to do more site customizations. And you're then going to come into the custom text area. And when you click inside of here, you're going to notice that everything that you have written, everything that you have as a label or text in your site can be changed if you want to customize it. You're going to find a range of labels and categorizations here in the text area. And just by scrolling through, you'll see that you can do your header, footer, checkout, and just about every place where you have text, you'll be able to change this information to reflect what you want it to say. We won't go through all of these elements for the sake of time, but you will want to scroll through each one of these if you want to customize any of the text in these areas. Now you can leave the default settings as they are. In most cases, they correctly communicate to your customer what they want to do. If you want to add in any custom coding, you can do that in the code snippets area. Now this is going to be more advanced, but it can be done here in this area. And there's also what's called the Power Editor. Now the Power Editor is only available to those who have the business plan, which is the highest level plan. And you're going to see here that because we haven't selected a plan, this is not available to us. However, it would not be available to us mainly because we've chosen the professional plan as part of our trial. And with that, you will have then completed all of the elements inside of the site settings. Welcome back. Now on your left side menu, you're going to see more elements than the site settings. You're going to see your dashboard, and this is what you have already seen. You're also going to have a user section. And this is where you can add students and manage your students for your courses. What you're also going to see here is you're going to have an owner section. And this is where you can add in individuals that will be owners of your school. What you can also do is to add in authors for your school. So in a particular course, what you can do is you can add in authors that are going to be available to you. Now, if you have affiliates for your school, you will have those affiliates here in this area. And if you want to have custom roles, you can create those custom roles here in this area. But again, this is only going to be available to those who have the highest level plan, which is the business plan. If you are using the professional plan, this feature or function will not be available to you. And once you have walked through this entire section, you will have customized your user's settings. Welcome back. Now, in addition to the users area, you also have the site area, which we reviewed in another video. You also have the sales area, and this will not be relevant until you have actual transactions. However, you will be able to look at your individual transactions. You'll be able to look at your statements over time. You'll be able to look at an analysis of your sales. And one of the things that you'll notice is that if you have the professional plan, you will be able to add in an upsell button to your offers. And so it's in this section that you will be able to track what your upsells are doing as you create them inside of Teachable. The next section down will be your email section. And so what you can do is you can send emails to all of the individuals inside of your school. You'll also be able to select individuals within specific courses when you actually create those courses. What you'll also notice in the email section is that you have a template editor. And the template editor is for all of the automated emails that Teachable will be sending out on your behalf. So for example, you can see that you can select a specific template. The default will start with the receipt template. If we select the receipt template, we're going to be able to make customizations to this template here in this area. Now, before you start making customizations, it's a good idea for you to look at the preview so that you know what you're customizing. And you'll see that in the right-hand corner. So we're going to click Preview, and we're going to take a look at what the template looks like as it is without any customizations at all. And if you know HTML code, you can make customizations to the template. Again, if you don't know HTML coding, it's probably not a good idea to make too many customizations to the template. So for example, let's assume that we went to this line and we added in another line here. And you're going to see that line written in here. What we're going to do is we're going to click Save. And once we've done that, you'll see that it says template has been updated. What we're then going to do is we're going to click the Preview button so that we can see our changes here written into the template. So once again, if you understand HTML or CSS code, you can start working with some of these templates to add in specific things. However, the default templates work well on their own. And finally, you're going to see settings for your emails. And these are all of the student notifications that will be sent out by Teachable. So for example, by default, your student will get a certificate of completion. If you don't want that to be sent, you can untick that. You can decide that they will not be notified if there are comments. You can opt not to have them receive notification of drip content. And basically, this gives you control over how many notifications that your customer is going to be sent. But once again, if you're going to edit any of these templates, you can go back to the template editor and you can find the appropriate template and you can determine what will be sent in those emails. And once again, if you want to turn them back on, you can do that. If you want to go back to your template editor and you want to reset that template editor, you can do that by clicking this Reset button. This will delete all of your changes. This will take the template back to the way it was. You can then preview that template. You'll then notice that the changes that you made are no longer present. Welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to start working with our settings. If you go to the left side menu, you're going to see this gear, and that's going to be your settings bar. When you click that link, that's going to give you this menu. And the first thing you're going to see are general settings. And this is where you can change some of the general information that you're giving to Teachable. Now this is also the setting where if you want to remove Teachable branding, you can do it, and you can enable it by clicking this button. You can also remove the Teachable branding from your authorization pages. Now, you can make it so that an individual is going to have to use a CAPTCHA in order to become part of your school, or you can take that CAPTCHA out of the equation. You can also prevent individuals from canceling their payment plan. Now by default, this is going to be enabled where they're not able to cancel their payment plan, but you can disable this toggle button. You can then specify your address for tax reporting purposes. Now, one of the things that you can do in your school is you can make it so that your lectures are going to automatically complete. That means then that regardless of what an individual decides about a particular lecture, you can make it so that when they finish the video, it's automatically marked as complete. Or you can leave this untoggled, which means it's off by default. You can make it so that videos do not autoplay, so that when an individual finishes a video, you can make it so that videos do not autoplay. Now, they are on autoplay by default, so that when an individual finishes a video, the next video is automatically going to play. You can toggle this off if that's something that you want to do. Now, off by default is syncing a user's course percentage completion ratio. You can do that here, but again, this is a default setting that you can leave unless you have a compelling reason that you want to set it up. At each stage, you're going to see a save button. It's a good idea that if you're going to make changes, that you save as you are going through these general settings. You're also going to see author settings. And basically, if you have multiple authors, these are going to be things that you are going to want to consider in having those authors to be part of your school. If you're going to be using the Teachable affiliate program, you're going to use some of these settings. In this case, you can determine how long the cookie is going to be available in order for your affiliate to be credited with a particular sale. Now, inside of the courses inside of your school, you can determine how the comments are going to be moderated. Now, obviously, this is in another section of your setup process, but you can also set it up here. One of the inclusions in the Teachable process is that you can have a blog associated with your school on your site. And to do that, all you're going to need to do is to click this button that says Enable Blog. What you'll then want to do is to give your blog a name and a subtitle. Once you've created the basic information about your blog, what you can do is you can click the Save button. Once you've done that, you'll need some additional configuration in order to get your blog ready. Now, before going on to complete the rest of the settings, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and set up your blog if that's something that you are going to want to work with. And to do that, you're going to go to your site area. What you'll then want to do is to go to the blog tab. And what you're then going to want to do is to create a new post for your blog. Once you have your content in, you'll want to give your blog post a title. You'll then want to dictate what your blog post URL is going to be. You'll then want to select the bio of the individual that will be associated with the post. You'll go to the drop-down menu and you'll then choose the specific bio. What you'll then do is to determine what the publish date is going to be. And what you'll then do is you'll determine what comments you will allow if you are going to allow comments on your post. In this case, we're going to leave it off, which is by default. We're then going to click this Create Post button. You'll then get a message from Teachable that the post is unpublished and it won't be live until you publish it. What we're first going to do is to go back to the blog. If we go back to the blog page and click the F5 button, which is the refresh button, you're going to see your blog post there. And what you can do then is you can click preview in order to see what the blog post is going to look like. You'll then see your blog post. What you'll then do is decide if you're going to publish your post. You can then click publish. What you'll then want to do is to click view blog. And you'll see your blog and your blog post. Now that blog is then going to have a URL. You're going to copy that URL. What you're then going to do is to go back to your navigation. What you'll then see is that on your navigation bar, you may not have the blog available. What we're going to do is we're going to change one of our links that we have available. We're going to edit one of the links. We're going to now change this to our blog. What we're then going to do is to put the URL in. We're then going to click Save. You'll then notice then that the blog is then available. We can also do is we can determine when the blog is going to be visible. So for example, if we go back and we edit the post, we can determine when this blog is going to be available. We can determine that it's only going to be available to individuals when they're going to be logged in. We're then going to click Save. What you'll then want to do is to look at your site. What you should then see is your blog available in your navigation. You can click on that navigation and you should then see your blog. You should then be able to click the Read More so that you'll be able to see your blog post. Welcome back. Now the second tab down in your settings is going to be for your payments. If you click that tab, you'll notice then that you can start collecting payments once you set up your payment system with Teachable. And this is basically the place where you are going to be collecting payments using Teachable's Teachable payment system. Now, if you don't intend to use the payment system through Teachable and you're just going to be delivering the link using Teachable, you don't have to set this up. For example, if you're going to be using another shopping cart, this is not something that you're going to have to do. However, if you want to use their payment system, you can go ahead and start this setup process. Now, Teachable will ask you a series of questions that you're going to need to answer in order to set up your Teachable payments. Now, basically what you're going to be doing when you get to this stage is you're going to be connecting your personal information to Teachable's Stripe account. That means one of the first things you're going to be doing is you're going to be setting up verification codes using your phone, and then once you're set up, you will be set up then with Teachable payments. The next tab down will be based on your locale, and you'll need to set up for taxes. Now basically what you'll see here is that you're setting up for the value-added tax inside of the European Union. If this is relevant to you, you'll need to make sure that you have these factors set up. The next tab down will be your Notifications tab. And what you'll notice is that you have several tabs activated by default. Now, the only things that will not be activated by default will be your comment notifications. And depending on whether you're going to have comments on your posts or on some of the content you'll be creating, you can determine if this is going to be relevant to you. The next tab down will be your Plan tab. Now, if you are still in the midst of your trial, you'll notice that the trial will be available to you using the features in the Professional plan. You'll be able to determine what your costs are going to be if you choose a monthly plan or if you choose an annual plan. The next tab down will be your Billing tab. And this is where you will add in your credit card information in order to be charged by Teachable. The next tab down will be your Integrations tab. You're going to notice several integrations. You're going to notice a Facebook integration, ConvertKit, which is an email service provider, Segment, Google Analytics, viral traffic tools such as Sumo, MailChimp, another email service provider, and then Zapier, which will allow you to connect with other cloud-based applications which you do not see in your integrations area. You can disable course events when working with your integrations by choosing this button. If you are doing more advanced integrations, you can use the webhook feature, and that's going to be the next tab down. You'll also see that there is a role tab, which is going to be the next tab down. And this is where you can assign individuals to specific roles, such as owner, primary owner, author, and affiliate. And finally, if you're willing to test some of Teachable's new features, you can select being part of their beta program and click Enable. And once you've done that, you will have configured your school settings. Welcome back. Now that our site and our settings have been completed, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Courses area. What we're now going to do is we're going to click New Course. Once we do that, we're going to give our course a title. And we're then going to give our course a subtitle. Now you're going to have authors that you have set up prior to coming to your course area. And you can go into the drop-down menu to determine who the course author is going to be. Once you do that, you can do one of three things. You can start with a blank course template. You can start with an existing mini course template, or you can work with a standard course template. Now in this video, we're going to start the process by using a blank template. And once we select blank template, we're then going to click Create Course. When you come to this page, you'll notice that your course starts with a section and an existing lecture that you can configure. You can also add in a new section, and you can add in a lecture to the session that you're working with. So what we can do first is we can change the section to what we want it to say. Once we do that, we can then click this button. That will then have our section named. What we can then do is we can then alter the first lecture to be what we want it to be in terms of the title. So what we can do is we can then name the first lecture. And once we click to save, what you'll see here is you have the ability to either duplicate this lecture, you can make the lecture downloadable, you can then make a free preview of this lecture, and you can publish the lecture. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to add content to the lecture, and we can do that by clicking on top of the lecture. And basically, once we get inside of the lecture, we can then add the file that we want to be part of the lesson. Now assuming first that you're going to be uploading video to your lecture, you would then be able to do that from your folder and drag and dropping it inside of the area where it says drop to unload. And so to do that, we're just going to drag this video content into the area that says drop to unload. We're going to make sure it is uploaded fully. What you're going to notice then is that you have a file there for your video. Welcome back. Now that we are inside of the lecture screen, what we're going to want to do at every point at which we have added content or something new is to preview what we've done. And if you look to the right hand corner, you're going to see the preview button. We're going to click preview, and what we're going to then see is what the student is going to see when they're inside of the lesson. Now you will have opened a new tab, so you're going to go back to the same tab in order to come back to this administration screen. Now when you have a video, what you can do is you can add a thumbnail so that the video will have something to appear to the student when they first come to the video. You're going to click this button that says Update Thumbnail. Now again, Teachable does have images available, or you can add one from your personal computer. What we're going to do for the sake of time is we're going to add in an image that's already inside of Teachable. We're then going to click Select One File. What we're then going to do is click Upload. Once the upload is complete, we'll then have our video thumbnail. What we can do then is we can then click Preview, and we'll see our thumbnail. What we've done is we've added a video to the lecture. We can also add in audio as well as a PDF. And to do that, all we'll need to do is to drag and drop the content to the same window where the video is. So for example, let's assume that we wanted to add in an audio to our lecture. All we need to do is to drag and drop that audio into this area where it says drop to unload. We would then have our audio uploaded to the same place, and you're also going to have an audio player available to your student. The same process would happen if you're going to add in a PDF. You're going to drag and drop your PDF in this area, and that PDF will then be available to your student. Now there are other file types that will be available to you. In order to drag and drop, you need to test them in this area. Now what you can do with each and every one of these files is you can make them downloadable to your student. And so to do that, What you're going to do is you're going to click this Enable Download button on each of the areas when you want the file to be enabled for download. What you can also do is you can make it so that the student will not see the file as an embed. So for example, what we can do to the video is we can turn off the embed. What we're going to do now is we're going to preview what the student is going to see. You'll notice now that the video is available for download, but it's not available for viewing here inside of Teachable. However, if we turn the embed back on, we'll then preview again, and we'll notice then that our video is then available once again. Once we have our files in the way we want them, we can then click the Publish button. This lecture is then ready for students to experience. Now, because you have a video available to you, one of the things you can do is add in a caption. You can do that by clicking Upload Caption. If you have the transcript available, you can then add it to your video. Now, to do this, you are going to need to have an SRT file. Now, what we're going to do here is stop the video, and we're going to pick it up from being able to add text to this lecture. Welcome back. We are now inside of our lesson or lecture, and we've added files including video, audio, and a PDF. What we can also add is text. And this means then that we can add in text for our viewers to read inside of the actual lecture area. So once we have our content, we're going to paste it directly into the WYSIWYG editor. And because we have a WYSIWYG editor, we can then make changes to the content in the way we want it to appear as it is. And you'll see what we're doing here is we are changing the spacing to be exactly what we want it to be. We can use the WYSIWYG editor exactly how we want it to appear by using the enhancements to the actual text. Once we've added the text, we can click Add Text. And you'll see that text available inside of the lecture area. We can also use the Add Custom Code link in order to add in code. So for example, let's assume that what we would do is we wanted to add in a YouTube video, but what we wanted to do was we wanted to add in the embed code. What we would do is we would then get the share code, we would then get the embed code, we would then copy that embed code, we'd then head back to our Teachable area. We can then paste in our code. Once we have it, we can then click Add Custom Code. When we preview the code, you'll see then that the video appears as an embedded video from the place, in this particular case is YouTube, that we embedded it from. Now, if you want to test out code other than HTML code, you can test out that code by using it inside of the Add Code Example area. You can add that code example so that you can see how it's going to appear inside of your lecture area. Now, we can actually add in an upsell block to our lecture. However, at this point, we don't have a second product available. So we won't be able to actually add in the upsell, but we will come back to this in another point in the course. You'll notice now that what we've done is add a lecture with all of the content inside of one lecture. And we can repeat that process by clicking Add a New Lecture. We can then name that lecture what we want it to be. We can then save the name, and we can then begin to go inside of the lecture. And once we're inside of the lecture, we can then begin to add in the content that we want to place in there, just as we did with the first section. And you'll see all of the elements available to us in order to add more content to a particular lecture. If for some reason we don't want to keep that particular lecture, we can then check it. We can then delete that lecture. If we want to copy the lecture that we've already done, all we'll need to do then is click this button. That's going to duplicate the lecture. That lecture is going to be available in the same way. If we click inside that lecture, you're going to see all of the same content. If we go back, what we can do is we can then tick this particular box. We can then delete that lecture. Now, one of the things that Teachable does in order to allow us to upload our content is to do a bulk upload as part of the process. And so you'll see here that as we are inside of adding our curriculum to a specific course, what we can do is we can go to this area that says bulk upload. What we can then do is to choose our files. We can then add and grab all of the files that we are going to want. We can then click open. When we then have all of our files, what we can then do is to upload those files. Teachable will then go through the uploading process. What you'll then notice is that each video has then been added as if it were a specific lecture separate from all of the other videos. We can drag and drop in order to reorder them. We can create a new section for some of the videos. And you'll see then what we can do is we can then drag and drop the content where we want it to be. So basically what we can do is we can upload our content, and then what we can do is go backwards to customize the content according to how we want it to appear. Let's assume then that what we want to do is to click inside of this video, and yes, the video is going to show there, but if we wanted to add in content, we could do it. Welcome back. Now there's a good idea to take a look at the bulk upload in one more sense. What we're going to do is go to bulk upload here. And what you're going to notice is that what you can do is you can also add in specific web pages. So for example, if you have images in Google image search, or if you have them in some of these other areas, what you can do is you can bring in that content into your course. And you'll see images, and what you can do is you can add in the images from some of these areas. You can click select one file. And what you can do is you can upload this file to your curriculum. You can then click on that image. You'll see it. And Teachable is going to treat it like a separate lecture for anything else that you are doing. In bulk upload, we can also add in a link URL. So for example, if we went to get the link from the web, we can place that link here in this area. Once we've written in the page, we can select it. We can then upload it, and what you'll notice then is that it's going to appear here, and it's going to appear as another lecture. So you can use the bulk upload so that you can add in content from these other areas. You can add in content from your Dropbox, you can add in content from your Google Drive, you can add in content from your OneDrive, which is from Microsoft. You can do the same thing inside of a lecture. So for example, we can click Add File. What we can do here is we can then click Choose Files. You're then going to see the same dialog box from your computer, web images, link URL, FTP, as well as your cloud storage drives. Once you have your curriculum the way you want it to be, you can preview it. And your course is going to start working the way that your student will actually see it. You can preview the course as a logged in user, or you can preview the course also as a logged out user. The reason this is important is because one of the things that we can do is we can make our content available to individuals that come to our course, and if they've not yet signed up, we can give them some of the content for free. And we can do that by clicking on this free preview button. And what that's going to mean is that the individuals that come to our course, they're then going to see this lecture and they're going to be able to participate in it even though they have not yet paid. And what you'll do is you'll go and you'll preview this area. What you'll notice now is that all of the lectures have been enabled. We're now previewing if we were a logged in user. If we were to preview as a logged out user, we will be able to see the lesson once we have actually published the course. Now at this stage of our process, we have not yet published our course, so it's not yet available. Once our course is available and the user comes to this page as a logged out user, they will be able to have access to a specific lesson even if we've not had that individual make a payment to us. Welcome back. Now, once you've completed uploading curriculum to your course, it's a good idea to take a look at this left side menu of all the things that you have available to you to add to your course. And these are all tools that you can use to enhance the content you're going to be giving to your customer or your student. So what we're going to do is we're going to first go backwards, and we're going to go to the information page. We have already filled in some of the data to this information area, but we want to take a look at it again. What you're going to see is that you have here a sales page and you have the course curriculum, and these are places where you can actually preview what you're going to see. Now, first, you're going to see the Publish Course button. If your course is unpublished, you can click this button to make your course go live. What you can also see here is that you have a preview of your sales page as well as your course curriculum. And what we can do here is we can see what the course is going to look like as an enrolled student. And you'll be able to see your preview here. This is actually a page that we've already seen. You'll also see that there's going to be a message here if your course is not live, that you'll need to complete some steps in order to make your course live. Now, you'll need to come back to one tab instead of using the back button in order to get back to this screen. What you'll also see here is your sales page, which your visitor will see. So for example, if we click this page, even knowing that we haven't placed any information here, you're going to see what your customer is going to see. Now, we will be working with this page in a future video. You'll need to go over back one tab in order to get back to your screen. Now, you're going to see some course details. And these are course details that we have already filled in, but you can go back and you can edit these course details. If you're going to have a different bio or a different person teaching the course, you can add that in here. What you can also do is you can add in a specific category. Now, these categories are mainly going to be so that when students come to your school, they'll be able to tell which course is going to be relevant to them so they can pick the one to purchase it. Now, these categories are going to be categories that you are going to make up and you're going to write in here. Once you have all the categories in that you're going to want, you're going to click the Save button. If you scroll down, there's going to be a branding section. And what you're going to notice is that you have over here on the left side that this is enabled for your web-based branding. What you can do here is you can place a thumbnail that's going to be a JPEG or a PNG file that's going to be 960 by 540 in terms of a recommended format. You're going to add the image in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab an image from our hard drive and we're going to place it here. Now, when we add an image, we can add the image from the presets given to us in Teachable, or what we can do is we can grab an image from our hard drive. Once we do that, we're then going to click Upload. Your image will then be available in your branding area. Now, what you can do is you can place in a different image for your iOS users. And so to do that, what you're going to do here is you're going to enable the iOS thumbnail area. And you'll see here that you're going to have recommended formats for you to place your images here in this area, and you're going to need to place 2 in these areas. And basically what this is going to do is this is going to replace the image. If you want to replace the one that's just for the web, you'll still have the web one available for your web users. This is going to be strictly for your iOS users to see. And this time what we're going to do is we're just going to take one from the presets inside of Teachable. We're going to go back. We're going to go to this one. We're going to replace that image. We're going to take one of the presets from Teachable and we're going to select that as our image. And you'll see here now that we have images both in the thumbnail area and we still have our image available for our web users. What you're also going to have here is called course compliance. And this is how you're going to want your viewers or your students to go through your course. So for example, what we can do here is we can tick this button. This is going to make it so that our users do go through the course in the way that we set the lectures. So if we set one lecture as lecture 1, we want the student to go through that lecture at the time. We can also make sure that our students watch at least 90% of a video in order to advance. Now, if you're doing something that works towards certification, this may be a good thing for you to enable. You can also make it so that students must complete a graded quiz in order to advance. Now, at this point, we have not added a quiz to our content. But once we add a quiz, what we can do is we can make it so that our student must complete a quiz in order to move on to the next lecture. When we enable this, you're going to see that there's going to be a minimum score. We're also going to give a maximum number of retakes, and you can see here what you can do is you can limit this to 99 takes. Or you can untick this button, you can then click Save. Now, when your student actually makes the purchase of the course, you can make it so that the student is going to be sent to a specific place. So for example, what we can do here is we can send the student to the thank you page. Now again, we have not worked with our pages yet inside of Teachable, but Teachable does have a thank you page for the course. We can send them straight to the curriculum, or we can set a custom URL if we have a website where we want individuals to be sent. Now for the sake of this video, we're going to leave it at the thank you page. I'm going to click Save. Now, we could have it so that we want to have the same course, but we want to have slightly upgraded features. We could duplicate the course and add those upgraded features to that duplicated course. So for example, if we click Duplicate Course, we click OK, we're then going to have a course duplication in queue. What we can do then is go to our Courses area. And what you'll see here is that we have a course that has all of the elements that we have placed inside of this course up until this point. So if we wanted to have a different version of the course that we sell with some additional features, we could do that easily by using our duplicated course. And we have now completed the information section of the course. Welcome back. What we're now going to do is we're going to look at the default pages associated with your course. We're going to do that by going to this Pages area. And what you're going to notice is that there are going to be 3 pages that you need to edit. Now these pages are already published by default. The other thing that you're going to notice is that you can add in different sales pages for your course. And these are going to be sales pages that you can switch in and out as your primary sales page. Now, of the published page, we have some options available to us. First, of course, we can edit the page to add in what we want to have as our sales language. We can click this button to view the page, and this is actually something that we've already done, but we will click this button just for good measure. And you'll see your course without any sales content. You'll need to tab back over to this page. What you'll then want to do is you'll click these ellipses, and what you'll see here is that you have some options with this page. You can choose to unpublish this page. If you have changes that you have made to the page, you can publish them. You can copy the link URL if you need to place this link someplace so that you can make the sales page available. You can duplicate the sales page to make it easy to make changes, because what you can do is have additional sales pages. And if you look at the top, one of the things you'll see here in this message is that you can create up to 10 sales pages, even though only one can be primary. We're going to eliminate this message. We can rename the page title. We can also rename the page URL. And you'll notice here that the page URL is going to be here in this area. It is going to be a form of the page associated with our course and associated with our school. So one of the first things that you can do is you can click Edit Page. And this is where you can add in different element blocks so that you'll be able to work with them for your sales page. So for example, one of the things we can do is we can start with the block that we have available. If we click on top of this block, you'll notice that this is the banner for our course. We can upload an image for this banner. We can change the text for the banner. And you'll see here on the sidebar all of the elements that you have available to you. So for example, if you don't want to show a button, Here, you can take the button out and you'll see the button will disappear. You can put the button back. You can send people to a specific URL when they're going to use the button, or you can send them to the checkout page. You'll notice here that this button is going to be configurable in terms of the text that's on the button. We're going to go ahead and upload our image, and you'll be able to see your image in this banner area. Now, everything that you have on your page, you'll be able to edit. Now, once you've added the content, you can design this element further. You'll see the block, text, and any spacing that you want to do. You can go back. What you can then do is you can edit other elements. So for example, you can edit the text element. You can edit the image with text element, which you'll see here. You can edit the pricing element. You can edit the text with image grid that you see here. You can add in blocks. So for example, we can decide to click add a new block. We can choose the kind of block we want to add in. In this case, we can add in a custom HTML block. We can then click the add button. That's going to add that block to our page. What we're going to do then is we're going to see the elements of that button on the left side for us to be able to add in what we want to have for that particular element. Now, this element is calling for HTML code, so we need to have an embed code that we want to place in there. So we'll grab this code of a YouTube video. We're going to put in a centering code. We're then going to paste in the code. We're then going to place in the back center code. We're then going to preview this block. We can scroll down. We can see our video there. If we like the way the block looks, we're going to click Update. Our page is going to be updated with the new block, with our new content. So in summary, for the Pages area, you are going to be able to edit your pages. What we have done in this video is we have edited our sales page. Remembering, we can also add in sales pages. We can also duplicate the page that we've already worked on. We can edit each page with blocks. We can either have the block that we have in there. We can go back and we can take out the block. We can add in a new block. And each block is going to be customizable by clicking on the element and then working with the design elements inside of that block. Now, in the next video, we're going to look at other pages. In particular, we're going to look at the checkout page. Welcome back. Now, if you will be using Teachable payments in order to deliver your course, you can use the Teachable checkout. And because most people will determine whether they'll use the checkout, it's unpublished by default. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit this checkout page. Now, one of the things that you'll notice that you'll need to do before you can edit the checkout page is going to be to add a pricing plan. And even though that's next down the list in terms of your course settings, we're going to go ahead and add in a pricing plan. What you'll notice here is that we can't add in a checkout page until we have a pricing plan. So we're going to do here, we're going to add a pricing plan. Now, the other thing that you're going to notice is that in a free course, your student or customer would not see the checkout page. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click Add Pricing Plan. And we're going to make this price a one-time purchase. We're going to add in the price, the name, and then description. Now, this price level will also give you parameters that you can edit. So we can give a user access for a specific period of time or until a specific date. So for example, if we were to give this group of students access for 30 days, we can write in the word 30. We can choose this for days. We can then add in a purchase plan. Our plan is then added. What we can then do is to go back to our Pages area. Our page is still unpublished. We're then going to edit the page. What we're then going to do is we're going to be able then to add in our pricing plan. Now you'll notice you have some elements that are going to be optional on your checkout page. If you want to add in testimonials, you can do that, or you can skip them. You have other optional elements and you'll see them here. You can add in bullet points or you can leave them, and you can use a guarantee badge. Then what you're going to do is click View Page. If you want to view the page, you're going to copy your course URL checkout page. You're then going to open up an incognito browser, and you'll then see the checkout page that your student or customer is actually going to see. Now, once you are back at this page, you can publish the page as long as you are set up for Teachable payments. Welcome back. Now, another page that you have available to you that you can edit is going to be your thank you page. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to this edit page. You're going to click on that link. That's going to give you access to a block of pages that you can actually change in order to deliver your content. Now, you can place as much on this thank you page as you want. So for example, let's assume that what you want to do is you wanted to include a video. And let's say that you wanted to add in a video block. And what you do is you'd either add in a custom HTML block where you'd have an embedded video. You can add in this custom HTML block. Once you do that, you're going to click Add. That block would then be available here. And let's say that what you want to do is you want to reposition that block. What you do here is you would then move the block up to where you want it to be. You'll notice then that your HTML block is going to be up and available to you. What you do then is you then open up this block, this HTML block. It's looking for the code that you want. You then go back to get the video code and then place that video code inside of this HTML area. So we go back and get our code. We then place that code after we put a center code in. Then we end with a center code. And we then have our video available. What we can then do is click Update. That's going to update our page. Now, in terms of the button that's on the thank you page, you'll notice that it says Go to the course curriculum. Now, if you go to the button Action, when you click on that button, you'll notice then that Teachable is going to automatically send people to the course curriculum when they click the button and they get to the thank you page. Now, you can change the wording on that button so that it says what you want it to say. Of course, what you're going to do there is you're going to update the page. You can go back and do anything else that you want to do in terms of design, but then your thank you page will then be ready. What will happen is your customer will come to this page. They'll then be able to click to this button that says click here for your video course, and your customer thank you page will then be set up. Welcome back. Now, one other element that we can set up is to have our students receive a certificate when they finish our course. And we're going to go to the certificates element. And to do that, we're going to then click on Create New Certificate. We can then take one of the templates available that Teachable gives us, or we can use a custom template that is made up. We're just going to take one of the default templates. We're then going to click Next. What we can do is we can then edit this template. For example, we can upload an image that's 300 by 300, and then we can edit the rest of our content. Once we have our certificate, we can then preview that certificate. If it looks the way we want, we can then save the certificate. And we'll just click Finish. What we can do is decide whether we're going to activate this certificate for our course. If we decide that we want to, we can then click Activate. Now, anyone that completes our course will get a certificate as we have created it here. In conclusion, there are some elements that you're going to want to be aware of that are going to be important. We are inside of our curriculum and we're inside of a particular lecture. And when we talked about an upsell, we talked about the fact that we can add in an upsell. Now, in order to add in an upsell inside of the curriculum, you will need to be able to add in your coaching. That means then that you're going to need to have coaching set up inside of this menu underneath your courses. Another important element to make sure that you have specified what you want will be the post-purchase page. Now, in this case, we've said that we want the buyer to be sent straight to the thank you page. Now, one thing that you can do is to make sure that that buyer is going to be sent straight to the enrolled curriculum once they have made their purchase. Again, that's going to be your choice in terms of how you want to handle it. In some cases, you may have some other monetization opportunities on a thank you page that you may not want to put inside of your curriculum. Lastly, when you set up your sales page, you're going to need to set up your pricing plan the way you want it to be based on the ones that you have set up. So for example, we're looking at a button on our sales page. And you'll notice then when we click on that button, we have a button that'll send the buyer to a checkout page. But if you have more than one pricing plan, you'll need to then specify the pricing plan that you're going to need for that particular sales page. And then you can change the button text based on what you're going to have in terms of a pricing plan. And you now have the basics of being able to set up your course in Teachable. Hello and welcome. Now, in the previous course, one of the things that we looked at was being able to create an upsell from both within the curriculum as well as outside the curriculum. And one of the things you'll notice is that you can add in coaching if you have a coaching plan. What we need to do in order to make coaching available at the point of being inside of the curriculum as well as outside the curriculum is to create a coaching program. And to do that, what we're going to do is to go to this coaching area. And you're then going to see a button on the right-hand side that says Create New Coaching. You're then going to give your coaching service a name. And when you get to this page, you're going to have a choice to make. You can have students to go directly to the checkout. You can have them use an intake form, or you can have them use an intake form with your approval. What we're first going to do is we're going to use it so that the students go directly to the checkout and sign up for the coaching. We're then going to click Next. What we're going to do is we're going to allow access to the content free of charge, but we could use any of the other pricing plans that are available to us. What we're going to do now is we're going to give the coaching a name, subtitle, and description. Once you've done that, you're then going to click Next. Now you can set it so that the student will start on the point of enrollment in terms of setting up their first milestone. Or what you can do is you can set up a fixed date. And this can be useful if you are setting up a group coaching program. What we're going to do is we're going to assume that we are doing a one-on-one coaching program, and we're going to set it up so that the first milestone is the date when the student signs up. We're then going to click Next. Now it's here that you'll set up your first milestone. Now, one of the things that you can do here is add in media. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to embed a video URL. We're going to place the video URL. We're then going to click Save. You'll then see that the video is then going to be embedded into this area for your first milestone. Now what you can do here is you can then add in your calendar so that your student will then be able to select a date. Now you can integrate with Calendly if you already have a Calendly account. Now what you can do is you can go and search for Calendly, and once you get there or you find it in search, what you can do then is you can then open up your Calendly account. Now there is a free account that you can open. For example, you can look at the basic plan that will give you what you need in order to connect with your Teachable account. When you do that, you'll only be able to have one calendar connection, so that if you're going to use Calendly with your Teachable account, that's the only one you're going to be able to use if you choose to have the free account. Also, if you choose to have the free account, then you are going to have the branding of the company on your appointments. Now, if you have the free account, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to set up at least one of the Calendly events so that you can use it with your Teachable account. So what we're going to do here is we're going to delete all of these other events and then create a new one specifically for our coaching students. What we're now going to do is to create a new event type. We're going to have this so that we are creating a one-on-one event so that the invitee can pick a time to meet with us. We're going to click Create. We're going to give that event a name that's going to be consistent with our coaching program inside of our Teachable account. If you have a specific way that you're going to be meeting, you're going to place that here inside the location. In this case, if your conferencing software is already set up, you can set it up inside of your event. You're then going to give your coaching a specific description. And you'll see here that your event is going to be set up. We're then going to click Next. We're then going to set parameters on when and how individuals can book time with us in order to become part of our event. We're then going to set our available hours. What we can then do is we can make it so that this event will not appear on our main calendar page. And that's what we're going to do because we only want it to be connected to our Teachable account. What we're then going to do is click Next. In terms of setting up your event type, you can add in some additional elements. For example, we can write in an invitee question. This will give the invitee the opportunity to write a question to us that will help us to structure the meeting when we get to it. We can add this and then put Save and Close. We can also write in our cancellation policy. Now, many of these things are going to be off by default, but we can also turn them on, which in some cases is going to require us to have an upgraded account. The same thing is going to be true for your confirmation page, as well as the ability for you to be able to collect payments. You'll want to preview your live page, and this is what your customer will see when they're looking to book a time with you in order to determine when to speak with you. That means now that we have one event type available, and what we can do now is we can take our URL, we can copy the link address, and we can put that link address now inside of our coaching program. We come back to our coaching setup page, we can put that URL here in this area. We can then click Save and Review. Our service is then ready. We can then go to the admin for our coaching. Once we get to the admin section, we can write in our instructor. We can also add in an image in order to promote our coaching program. And we can upload files or use them from our cloud drives. Now, if you want to be able to view the appointments from within Teachable, all you'll need to do here is to add in your Calendly API key. That means then when you come back to Calendly, what you'll need to do is to go to your account. And in order to get that API key, what you're going to do is you're going to go to this link that says Integrations. You're going to see your API key. As of the recording of this video, we have grayed out the API key. However, all you'll need to do here is to click this copy key. What you're then going to do is head back to Teachable. What you're then going to do is to write in your Calendly API key. Now again, for the purposes of this video, this is going to be grayed out. You can now save the basic information for your coaching program. What you now want to also do is to set up your pages to sell your coaching program. You're going to see the sales page for your coaching program. You're going to want to edit your page. If you want to see the page before you start creating it, you can click this View button. Otherwise, what you can do is you can click Edit the Page. And again, once you get to this page, you're going to notice that it's going to have 5 elements here by default. If you scroll through the entire page, you'll be able to see these elements. You can make whatever changes to these elements that you want to make in order to have your coaching program to appear the way you want it to appear. Now again, the way that you're going to do this, obviously, is you're going to click inside of the element. So in this case, you'll notice that the banner is on top of the page. If we click inside of that element, we're then going to be able to work with the elements in the left side menu. We'll be able to design it. We'll be able to change the content. In order to go back to the list of elements, you're going to see here, you're going to have them here on the left side menu. If we scroll down, we're going to see that we've got a text element. If we click inside of that element, we're going to be able to edit it. You click inside of here, you're going to see image and text. You click inside of here, you're going to see the pricing element. And if you click the FAQ, you're going to see this element. Again, just as you did in the basic course, if you don't want to have a specific element inside of your page, you're just going to delete it. If you want to add an element to your page, you can add any element that you want. You're just going to use them from the list of elements in your left side menu that you get when you click Add New Block. So again, we click Add New Block, and we can add in an element. Once we have the page looking the way we want it to look, we can then click Update. And what you have saved is a draft. If you want to see the way it's going to look on the web, you can click the Preview button. You can then preview this as a logged in user and preview it as a logged out user. What you'll then be able to do is to go back. Once you've worked with the sales page, you can then work with your post intake page. Now this is only going to be relevant if you're using the intake form in order to get your coaching students. What you can also do is you can see what your students are going to see on the checkout page. And you'll also see what they're going to see on the thank you page. Once you have your sales and thank you pages looking the way you want them to look, you're then going to go to your coaching template. This is a template that was already set up. You can then go to your pricing area. You'll notice that there is an existing pricing plan there. You can add in a pricing plan if that's what you want to do, if you want to add some kind of premium plan. You'll also be able to click here and you'll be able to see any students or clients that have signed up. What you'll then be able to do is to go to your pages. You'll then be able to copy your sales page URL. You'll then be able to distribute that link for individuals that may want to sign up for coaching. And your coaching program will then be set up. Hello and welcome. Now in this video, we are going to undertake a rather complex multi-step process where we're going to create a school. We're then going to have it so that that school is going to have multiple courses. We're then going to add those multiple courses to one offer, and we're going to sell both within the same school. So what we would do within our Teachable dashboard is we're going to create a new school, and we're going to give that school a name. Once we create that school, we're then going to be ready to start creating courses. You're going to need to go through the questionnaire that Teachable gives you. And once you do that, you're then going to be able to enter your school. Now, you might need to sign up for their free webinar, but if you've done that already, you won't need to do that again. But we're going to start by creating a specific product. And what we're first going to do is we're going to create a specific course. So we're going to give that course a title. And since our course is primarily going to be based on using the videos as the basis, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a blank template that's going to be the easiest to work with, and we can adapt that template as we go forward. So we're now going to click Create Course. That's going to give us this area. And you're going to notice then that we have a section, and then we have a lecture session. So what we're going to start by doing is we're going to create our first section. We're going to call this a basic section, and we're then going to save that first section. What we're then going to do is we're going to then use the bulk upload. So what we're going to do first is we're going to bulk upload the lectures, and we're going to do that by just uploading the videos that are going to be our lectures. So we're going to grab those videos from our hard drive. We're going to use this bulk upload button. We're going to grab those videos from our personal computer. Now, if we have them elsewhere, such as Dropbox or Google Drive or OneDrive, we can just pull them over from our area, but we're going to grab them from our hard drive. Once we verify that we have all the videos that we're going to upload, we're then going to click Upload. And then Teachable will go through the upload process. Now what Teachable is then going to do is they're going to give you then all of the videos uploaded to this first section, and they're then going to be considered to be drafts. So what we can then do is we can then take one of these templated lectures, we can then delete them. What we're then going to do is we're then going to order them in the way that we want them. And because we've named them in the way that we want them, what we can do then is we can then drag and drop the videos into the order where we want them to be. So we're going to use the handles on each of the videos and we're going to drag them and drop them in place. So you'll then have your videos in place. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that what makes this process easy is that you have the naming convention and the numbering convention done before you upload the videos using the bulk feature. If you're going to use the bulk feature, you're going to want to make sure that your videos are already numbered and that they're titled prior to the upload process, because we can take these numbers and these titles and use them as is inside of our Teachable course. So that's one thing that you can do regardless of how you are going to be using Teachable, is to make sure that your videos are named and numbered appropriately before you start the bulk upload process. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go inside of each video because they're now draft videos. Now what we can do inside of each video is we can click inside the video. We're going to click on top. And what we can do is we can edit the thumbnail if we want. So if we have a thumbnail for each video, we can add a thumbnail for each video. Now this is actually something that you can do inside of Canva. You can create a thumbnail for each video and upload it. However, you don't have to do a thumbnail here for the videos. You'll be able to see what the video is going to look like to the customer. And this is what the customer is actually going to see when they come to this page. So you'd be able to make a decision about how you want the video to appear. In some cases, a thumbnail will actually help you. In other cases, it may not be necessary to add a thumbnail. Now it's here that we could add in any supplemental materials to a particular video. If we want to add in text, for example, if you want to add in a transcript, you can add in the transcript here to the text area. If you want to quiz the individual, what you can do is you can write your quiz questions here in this area. You can then make it so that the quiz will be graded. If you want to add in some kind of HTML coding, you can add that in here. And what we can do then is once we have completed all of the necessary information that we're going to have for this individual video for our course, we can then publish this video for our course. We can then go back to the curriculum area. What we're then going to see is that that video is then live here for the actual course. But let's assume that what we're going to be doing is selling the course, and what we want to do is we want the prospective customer to see this first video before they decide if they're going to buy the course. We can make this free for the preview. What we can also do is we can make this video downloadable. So we can do that again so the individual will be able to make a decision about whether they want to purchase the entire course. Of course, we can go back and we can untick all these. So what we're going to do now is we're then going to enable all of the videos. And we can do that in the bulk section. All that we'll need to do is to go to the top. That will enable all the videos. We're then going to toggle the published setting. Then you'll notice then that all of our videos are going to be live for this particular course. We're then going to turn off the bulk setting. We're going to come back here. We're going to make the first video a free preview, and we're going to make one more a free preview. So now we have completed the first part of our course. So what we've done is we have now created our first course, and we can then preview that course. And we'll then see what the customer will see. We can go through the course, and then we can determine if we want to make changes. But we've now added our first course to our school. So what we're now going to do is we're going to add another course. And so when we open up our new course, we're going to give our course a title, and we're going to give it a subtitle, and then give it a specific author. Now in this case, we're going to choose to use the same template, which is going to be a blank template, and then we're going to click Create Course. And once we come to this page, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this first lecture, and we're just going to delete it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the bulk upload so that we can upload our videos, which will be the formation of our new course. What we're then going to do is we're going to change the header for our first section. Once we change the header, what we're then going to do is we're going to bulk upload all of our videos for our curriculum. So we'll go to the bulk upload button. What we'll then do is to go and get our files from our hard drive. Once we have all of our files in the upload facility, what we're going to do is click upload. And then Teachable is going to go through the upload process. Once the upload is complete, we can start to drag and drop all of our videos into the place where they belong inside of the course. Once we have the course uploaded, we can then preview the course. Once we can see what our course is going to be, we can walk through the lecture process just as we did with the basic course to get our students' perspective. We can now go back to our courses, and we should see 2 courses available inside of this area. What we now want to do is we want to administer the basics of each course. And what we're going to want to do for the sake of our school is we're going to want to go through each of the menu items for each individual course. Now, this area is going to give you a preview as to what your student is going to see in terms of your sales page as well as your course curriculum. And you'll want to see this before you begin making changes to your sales page. Now, we're going to change the branding elements for this course as to how it's going to appear in our school for both the web as well as those who are looking on iOS devices. So we're going to add in images for the web and images for the iOS system. So once we've done the web, we'll switch over for iOS. For each of the courses, what we're going to do is we're going to determine if we want the student to go through our course the way we want it to be, or if it's important for them to have the flexibility of going through the course as they see fit. And again, this you'll determine as a course creator how you want them to experience your content. You can choose where the student is going to be once they make the purchase. Now in this case, since we are building a multi-course platform, we want to have the individual sent to the course curriculum when they actually get access. What we're going to do now is we're going to start the bundle process. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to click Bundle Contents. That's going to bring us to this specific page where we can bundle our courses. And what we're going to do is we're going to click this link that says Add a course to this bundle. Now the course is going to need to be part of your school already. So we're going to take the other course that we have and we're then going to add it to this course. What you then have if you go to this bundle contents link is you have all of the courses that you will have added. So if you want to add another course, all you'll need to do is to click this link that says add a course to this bundle. What you'll now want to do is you'll want to work through your pages. But before you do that, you're going to want to publish your courses. So you're going to go to your courses link within your school. You're then going to go to the courses that you have set up. So we're going to publish this course. And that's going to be our main or our parent course. And this is where we're going to start the activity to create our sales page. We are now going to go back to our courses. We're going to go to our other courses. We're going to publish those also. Now in this case, we only have one course. However, if you had more than one course, you would do the same thing for all of the courses that you'd be placing inside of your multi-course system. So we're going to now go back to our courses, and we're now going to go inside of our course, which is now a multi-course bundle. So what we're going to do now is go to our pages, and we're going to start working with our sales page. We're going to click Edit Page. And by default, you're going to have some page blocks that are already going to be present for this multi-course system. Now, if you're going to work with this multi-course bundle, one thing that you'll notice is that you're going to have a block here that's going to have the course curriculum for the parent course. And presently, there is no way of being able to pull in the course curriculum block for the other courses that you'll be adding. For example, let's assume that what we wanted to do is go to this block and we wanted to add in another course curriculum block, and then we added that course curriculum block. what you're going to see is a repeat of the curriculum of the parent course. So instead of placing this block in here, we're going to delete this block. Now, it would be your choice as to whether you are going to leave that course curriculum for the main course. However, if you are marketing a multi-course bundle, you may not want to only have the course curriculum that's here, mainly because it may not necessarily be a parent course, it just may be the first course that you worked with. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to delete that block with the course curriculum. And so now, what you'll see here is that our page that we're going to be editing only has certain blocks: the banner, the text, the image with text, the pricing, and then the text with image grid. What we are going to add in is a different block. We are going to add in a new block. What we're going to do is we're going to add in the featured products block. That's now going to show up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to click the add button. That's going to give us access to this area. When we place our cursor inside and we start to work with the design, what we can do here is we can change the name of this title. And what we're going to do here is we're going to set up what we want to feature here in this area. Now, we only have 2 courses in this school and inside of this bundle. However, what we could do is we could go to this select product to feature. And what we're going to do here is we're going to put in both courses. We'll see the first course here. We're also going to place in the other course. And of course, we can switch the order if we want to do that. But basically, what we're going to do in this featured blocks area is we're going to place in all of the courses that we're going to have available. What we're then going to do is we're going to go back to our sales page block. And you'll notice here that we have the featured products block here at the bottom. What we're going to do then is we're going to move this up so that it would be featured prominently. And what would happen would be our sales page would then become one that prominently featured all of the courses that are going to be available. Now, one of the things that you'll notice inside of this block by default is the View All Courses button. And if you actually leave that button in and the potential customer clicks on this button, what they'll see is all of the courses that are going to be available. And that could be slightly confusing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this block and we're going to take out that button. And we're going to make it so that all that appears are going to be the design areas for the courses that we're going to have available. We're then going to click Update for our sales page. What we would then do is come back and we would set the pricing for our entire bundle. We would then add in a pricing plan. We can then write in our pricing plan. We then click Add Purchase Plan. Now that we've added in a dollar plan, we can then edit this page. If we have testimonials, we'll add them here. If we had bullet points, we'll add them here. And if we have a guarantee, we'll go ahead and add it. Now, these are optional, of course, and we can view our page to see what it's actually going to be. Now, what we can do is we can view the live checkout page by copying this course URL. Now, when your customer or student comes to the checkout page, this is what they're actually going to see. So if you're comfortable with the checkout page, what you're now going to do is to go back to your sales page. We're going to click Edit Page. And one of the things that we did not include was going to be our buy button. And so what we're going to do is to come back to our sales page now, and we are going to add in a new block. And that block we want to put at the bottom, or we can put it at the top, wherever we want to place it. We're going to click Add New Block. What we are then going to do is we're going to click the button block. We're then going to click the Add button. What we're then going to do is we're going to write in our button text. What we're then going to do is we're going to make it so that the button will then go to the checkout page. Teachable will then ask you which plan you want to use for the pricing. We're going to choose the paid plan. Now, if you wanted to have another page with a free plan, you can do that. What we're going to do now is we're going to update our page. What we now want to do is we want to walk through the customer's experience. And so we're going to now go back to our sales page. And we're going to grab that page. We're going to copy the link. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the link to that page in another browser in private or incognito mode. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the URL here in this area. And you're going to notice what the customer is actually going to see. They're then going to click this button that says to get the course bundle. They'll then see the checkout, and they'll then be able to check out in order to get to the course bundle. Now what we can do is to go back to our sales page, and what we're then going to do is to go to our button. What we're then going to do is we're going to edit our button. And instead of the paid pricing plan, what we're going to do is we're going to add the free pricing plan, and we're going to send the individual to the checkout page. We're now going to update our page. What we're now going to do is to look at our page again while it's in private or incognito mode. So what we're going to do is refresh this page. And what we're going to do now is we're going to click this button that says get the course bundle. What that's going to do is that's going to bring us to this page where the student will then enroll in our course. What they're then going to do is to sign up for our school. The student will then have access to 2 courses. What they're going to be able to do is to click the first course. And when they click inside of the first course, they're going to see that they have their course curriculum, but they're also going to see that they have other included courses. And this is where they'll see the other courses that they'll be getting along with their purchase that you place on their sales page. If they click inside of this course, they'll then be able to get the course curriculum that you also place for the second, third, or any subsequent courses. Now, if the student logs out of your course, they'll then see the school and your school page. And so one of the things that you can do on your school page is to place your courses on that page. And to do that, we're then going to go to our school page. That means then that we're then going to go to our school site. That means then that we can go to our school page. That means then that we can then edit our home page. What we can then do is to add a new block. What we can then do is to add our featured courses. We can then click the Add button. What we can then do is to add in our courses. We can go back, and what we can do is we can take out any blocks that we don't want to appear on our sales page. We can then update our page. We can do that by clicking the Publish button. We can then do is we can go back and we can preview our page by going back to our private browser and refreshing our page. So we're going to come back to our private browser. We're then going to do is click F5. We're then going to see our school, and we're going to see our featured products. So this is going to be the school page that your customer will see. So if you have additional products in addition to your course bundle and you have them inside of Teachable, you can place them in this featured area. And of course, if we just want to display all of our courses on our home page for our school, we can go to our domains area. We can click Add a new domain. We can then add in our domain. We can then decide to make this our primary domain, and we can redirect our old domain. That means then that we can use our primary domain by copying. We can then go back to our private browser, and our school page will then appear. If we go back to the old domain and we redirect it, and we refresh it, you'll notice then that it's going to lead to the very same page. And so what we've basically now done is we have set up our school in order to market a multi-course bundle along with all of the other courses available in our school. Welcome back. Now what you can also do is to set up a group coaching program. And to do that, you're going to go inside of your school. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to your coaching products area. You're then going to click coaching. You are then going to click create new coaching. And then you're going to give your coaching service a name. What you're then going to do is click next. Now in this case, for the group coaching, what we're going to do is we're going to set up an intake form so that we need to approve that intake form before we allow the individual inside of the group coaching. We're then going to click next. We're then going to set the pricing the way we want it to be. Now again, you have all of the pricing options available to you. For the sake of this video and for the sake of the school that we've set up, we're going to allow this coaching to be free. So once you've set your price and you have your information in, you're then going to click next. Now what we can do here is we can start the coaching for a specific milestone on a specific date. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to start the milestone on a fixed date. And we're going to do this so that we can set up recurring group classes for this group training. So we're going to set a specific date here. We're then going to click next. What we're then going to do is to give the student information about the group sessions. Now in this case, instead of adding in a calendar, what we can do is we can add in a specific meeting with Zoom. Now just so that you'll note, this is not going to be a formal integration as you would do if you're going to use one of these services. In fact, you don't even have to use Zapier in order to set up this integration. What you're going to do is click Add a Meeting. And what you're going to do here for the group session is you're going to set up your Zoom link, and you're going to put that Zoom link here in this milestone area. Now once you're inside of your Zoom account, what you're going to do is you're going to schedule a new meeting. You're going to write in all of your pertinent data. What you can do is you can make this a recurring meeting inside of Zoom. And you can have it repeat however often you want it to repeat. Once you've set up the basics, you can then click Save. What you're then going to do is you're going to copy this Zoom link. We're then going to come back to our Teachable account. We're going to paste in the meeting URL. We're then going to set our meeting time. Once we do that, we'll then save and review. Now basically what we have now is we have a coaching service set up so that a client will need to fill out an intake form, and when we approve it, they'll then be part of our coaching. So what we now need to do is we need to go to the admin so we can complete the process in order to set up our group coaching. Now in this case, what we can do is we can upload a thumbnail if we want to have one. Once we've done that, we can then move on to the pages element for our coaching. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to make sure that our sales page reflects what we want it to be. We're then going to click Edit Page. Now the default is you're going to have 5 elements here that you can alter. Your banner, text, image with text, and then most importantly is going to be the intake form. You've got an optional FAQ form. Of course, if you don't want to keep it, you can then take this out. We want to take a look at our intake form to make sure that it's got everything that we want it to have. We can click inside the intake form, and what we're saying here is that this needs to come with our approval. We can make changes to the intake form that we want to have. What we're going to do is we're going to click back. Once we've done that, what we can do is we can then update the form. We can then preview our page so that we can see what the customer is going to see when they reach this page. And we'll see our intake form on the page as it will appear to our customer. Now when the customer submits an intake form, they're going to see a specific page. We can then alter that page. What we're going to do is we're going to click Edit Page. And this will be the form that the customer will see after we grant approval. So if we want to add in anything to this page, we want to give the customer any more instructions, we're going to need to add more blocks to this page and then give them the ability to click Enroll Now to enroll in the program. Once they click that Enroll page, they'll then be able to check out, and we'll be able to see what that page is going to look like. Now, we'll then need to click this checkout page, so we'll then see the checkout for our group coaching. And so this is the page that the customer will need to fill in order to become part of our group coaching program. And again, they're only going to get to this page after we approve them through the intake form. Now, we'll also want to make sure that they get to the right page once they've gone through checkout, and that's going to be the thank you page. So we're going to edit this thank you page. Now, the default is they're going to have text, which we can add in any text that we want. And there's going to be a button here that's going to send them to the coaching. Now, if we click inside of here, there's button text that sends them to the coaching. If we want to add any blocks to this page, we can add them here. So once we've completed this, we can then click Update. So what we've now done is we've completed all of the pages. Now, because this is going to be a recurring coaching program, we have a template. And what we can do is we can make sure that our template is going to be consistent by writing in this template the things that we want to see within each session. And so we can alter that here in this area. Now, in terms of pricing, what we've done is we've set up this as a free coaching program. Of course, if we wanted to have a different tier to our coaching program, we could do that by adding in a pricing plan, and then the customer would get the choice to that plan when they sign up for our coaching. In the clients area, we'll have a record of those individuals that are both prospective and those who have actually enrolled in the entire program. As of right now, all of our pages have been published. So what we can do is we can go back to the information area. We can then make this coaching program visible. That means then that what we'll need to do is to go back to our site page. What we'll then need to do is to go to our pages. We'll then need to go to our home page. What we'll need to do is we'll need to add a new block here. And what we'll then need to do is to add a featured products block. We'll then add that featured products block. What we'll then do is we'll make the product type coaching. We'll then select a specific coaching product. That product will then be part of this area. We'll then title this appropriately, and we'll then publish our home page. You'll then see for logged out users, if we come to this page and we then refresh the page, we'll then see our group coaching button available for individuals in order to purchase. So what we want to see now is what happens when a customer comes to our page in order to purchase our coaching. They're going to do is they're going to click that button, and they're then going to come to our intake form. They're then going to answer our designated question and then click Submit. And so that individual is going to get an email with their responses that they have on record. Now, one thing you're going to notice that if you go to your site users, you are not going to see the person that applied to your intake form. In order to find the individuals that have applied using the intake form, you're going to need to go to your coaching area. What you're then going to need to do is to click inside of your coaching. What you'll then need to do is you'll need to check your clients area. And you're then going to see the individual that is prospective and what they have said in their intake form. What you can choose to do is you can then click this button in order to indicate their status. What you will also get in your email box is an email stating that an individual has filled out an intake form. And that means then that what you'll need to do then is go to your coaching area in order to indicate whether you're going to accept that individual or not. So coming back to the coaching area, what we're going to do is we're going to accept the individual. That means then that the individual is still going to have to go through the checkout process in order to become part of our coaching program. So they're still not going to be in the enrolled area. Now they should then get an email stating that they have been approved in order for them to enroll. Now at this point, they would then be able to make payment to the coaching program if you had a payment set up. Now for the sake of this video, what we have done is we've made our coaching program free, but they would not even be allowed to pay until they completed the intake form. What we're going to do is we're going to click enroll. That brings us then to the one pricing option that we set up for this individual. Now once again, if you had set up a paid plan, they'd be able to choose that option to get a specific kind of coaching. We're going to click enroll now. That means then that they're going to then need to enroll in our coaching program through this form and through this checkout. Once they agree, they're then going to sign up. They are then going to come to the thank you page. Now they've already paid, and what they'll need to do now is go to the coaching area. This will then bring them to their milestone area. And once they are inside, you'll see the meeting that we have set up with them that they'll be able to participate with us in using the Zoom system. Now let's assume then that what we want to do with the individuals in the coaching is we want to go back and we want to add in a session. What we would do is we would go to the clients area. We would then click on that name so that we can edit their coaching. What we would then be able to do is to create a new milestone. We would then be able to create another milestone for the coaching. And we'd then be able to save the new milestone to that person's coaching. Now this would be our screen. What the individual would see on their side would be a different coaching. What the individual would then see on their side is the same thing without the button at the top. So what we're going to do here is we're going to refresh their page, and you'll see then that they're going to see the second group session that they'll be able to join with you. So what you'll have is you'll have in this area all of the individuals that will be part of the group coaching program that you're going to be giving people access to. So when we are ready to create a new program, all we'll need to do is to go back to our coaching area. We'll need to click this button to create new coaching, and then we'll have a brand new program to go back through the process again. Hello and welcome. Now in this video process, what we want to do is we want to connect your Teachable product purchases to being able to correspond with people using your email service provider. The easiest way to get started is going to be to go into your settings and then to look to your integrations. What you want to find is whether you have an existing integration with Teachable and your email service provider. For example, you could use MailChimp. And if that's the case, then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to click MailChimp. And then what you'll need to do is to go inside of your MailChimp account and get your MailChimp API key and the list ID that you want to use. Once you're inside of your account, you'll need to go to your account settings area inside of Teachable. Once you are inside of your profile, you'll need to go to the extras. You'll then need to go to your API keys. What you'll then need to do is to click this button that says create a key. You'll then need to take the key that you created and place it in this dialog box. What you'll also need to do is to get your specific list ID that you'll be connecting to this particular school. What you'll need to do is to go to the audience menu, then go to your audience dashboard. What you'll then do is to choose a specific audience. What you'll then need to do is to go to the settings button within your audience. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see the unique ID for that particular list or audience. You're going to copy that list ID. You're then going to place that list ID inside the MailChimp list ID area. You're then going to click Save. Teachable will then say your integration has been saved. What you'll then have is all of your signups and course enrollments will be directed to your MailChimp list. It's possible you could have an email service provider that you like to connect. However, it does not connect to Teachable through its integration area. So what you're going to need to do is to use third-party cloud-based connector Zapier. Now, what you can do to test your connection is to start with a free account. If you find that you will be able to connect with your autoresponder and you want to continue using, you can then move up to one of the paid plans. Now, in some cases, Zapier may require that you have a paid or premium account in order to experience a connection. So for the sake of this video, we are going to enter a paid plan for Zapier. Once we are inside of Teachable, we are going to set up a connection between a specific autoresponder not listed within the integrations in Teachable and Teachable itself. We're going to use GetResponse in order to do this. And so we're first going to select GetResponse. What we're then going to do is we're going to write in Teachable. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to select a trigger. And what we want to happen is the trigger to be something that happens with Teachable. Now in this case, we're going to choose that we have a new sale in Teachable. What we then want to do is we want to have the individual that makes a purchase in Teachable to be added to a specific list. And so we want that individual to be created as a contact. What we are going to do then is we're going to click Use Zap. Now what we're going to need to do first is we're going to need to connect our Teachable account. So we're going to click this down arrow. Zapier is then going to ask us for the email and password to our account as well as the subdomain. We're then going to click Yes, Continue. Our Teachable account will then be connected inside of Zapier. We're then going to click Continue. Zapier will typically then ask you to test your trigger. You're then going to click Continue. You'll then say that you want your GetResponse account to create a contact when a new sale is generated in Teachable. You'll then click Continue. Now, if you don't have your email service provider connected, in this case, GetResponse, you'll need to connect it, and you're going to use this drop-down arrow. Now, in this case, GetResponse is asking for an API key. Now, your autoresponder or your email service provider may be different in the requirements that it has for you to connect with Zapier. You are then going to want to follow those requests so that your account can connect. Once you've connected your account, you can then click Continue. Now, once Zapier has connected to your email service provider, you'll then be able to go inside in order to select the specific list that you want to connect to when a sale is made. What you're then going to do is you're then going to map all of the required elements. In this connection, what's required is going to be an email and a name. So what we're going to do is put our cursor here, and we're then going to map an email address. What we're then going to do is map the name. We then have all other required information. Now, if you do want to bring over other information from Teachable, you can do that. However, you have the required information in order for the information to transfer when a sale is made. What we're going to do now is click Continue. Zapier will allow you to test your connection, and that is what we are going to do. Now, Zapier will then send a test contact to your email service provider so that you'll be able to determine if the connection was actually made. You should then see that the individual will then be added to your email marketing list. Once that happens, you can turn on this automated process. Then, every time that you generate a sale inside of Teachable, that person will then be added to your email marketing list inside of your email service provider. Hello and welcome. We're now inside of shopping cart system, ThriveCart, which is fully online and in the cloud. And what we're going to do is demonstrate how you can connect your shopping cart to your Teachable account, integrating in the opposite direction. As opposed to creating an integration from Teachable to your cloud-based system, we are going to integrate from the cloud-based system to Teachable. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go inside of our account. We're then going to go to the account settings. What we're then going to do is click View Integrations. What you're going to do is you're going to scroll down and you're going to see an integration for Teachable. Now, if you haven't integrated your shopping cart with Teachable, this is where you'll do it. Now, once again, we are using ThriveCart in this case to represent a shopping cart. What you would be looking for is a direct integration with your shopping cart and Teachable. So what we're going to do is we're going to write in our Teachable username, our Teachable password, and then our Teachable school. Now, the integration is not account specific, it's school specific. That's why you need both a username and password as well as your school name. Once you have the integration, you're then going to save this as a Teachable school inside of your shopping cart. In this case, we're using ThriveCart. Now, if your cart has been accepted, you'll then be able to integrate your products in ThriveCart with your Teachable account. So what you'll do then is you'll create a digital product inside of ThriveCart. You'll then give that product a name. You'll then give your product a price. Now in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to choose a subscription price. And we're going to send the customer an invoice for every recurring payment. And we're going to make it so that there's no limit on the number of times that the subscription can renew. We're then going to click Next. We're then going to click Save. We're then going to skip the order bump process. We're then going to go to our payment processor. And this is where you'll choose your payment processor. Now, if you want to have ThriveCart administer an affiliate program for you, you can do that. And if your shopping cart does that, you can go ahead and enable this or disable it. We're going to go to the next step. We're then going to add in a support address for the product. And what we're going to do is we're going to say after the purchase that the individual should be added to our membership site. Now, if we have connected our membership platform, we're then going to be able to choose our membership platform. We're then going to choose our specific Teachable school. Now, if we've done the integration correctly, what should happen is your shopping cart, in this case ThriveCart, should be able to find the courses that you have created inside of Teachable. In this case, here is a course that has been created inside of a specific school inside of Teachable. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to give the login URL so that the individual will be able to use their login and password to log in. Once we have the information in, we can then click Next. Now, the rest of the process is going to be specific to ThriveCart, and you would choose then your checkout, and we're not going to spend a lot of time doing this. We're just going to go to the next step, and we're going to skip the design, and we're going to skip the tracking. Now, this is going to be peculiar to ThriveCart. So for example, what we can do is we can add a rule so that when the individual makes the purchase, we can then have that individual added to our email marketing list. What we're going to do is we're going to save this process and then get the URL. What we can then do is we can then view our checkout. And we have our recurring payment for the purchase of our product inside of Teachable. And the process is now complete. So an individual will have to continue to make payments in order to maintain access to your product that you have inside of Teachable. Hello and welcome. Now, as the recording of this video, there is no forum or community component inside of a school for your Teachable courses or for your Teachable coaching. However, one thing that you can do as a workaround is to create a blog. And so to do that, you are going to go inside of your school-specific settings. You are then going to go to the General tab. And what you're going to do is scroll down to the bottom. You're going to see that you can enable your blog. Once you do that, you're then going to click Save. What you're then going to want to pay attention to is going to be the comment area. So for example, one thing that we can do is we can enable content moderation. We can enable or disable content attachments. And then we can allow or disallow multi-level threading of responses. Once we have our choices, we're then going to click Save. What we're then going to do is we're going to go inside of the email category. What we are also going to want to do is to go inside of our notifications. And what we're going to want to see is that when a comment is posted on the thread that we've commented on, we're going to want to be notified. We're also going to want to be notified when there's a comment on one of our courses. What we're then going to want to do is we're going to want to go inside of our site. We're then going to want to go inside of our blog. We're then going to want to create a new post. What we're going to do is we're going to write in our content or our comment. We're then going to want to allow comments. We're then going to want to create our post. We're then going to want to publish our comment. What we're then going to want to do is to add in our blog to our site navigation. We can click Add a Link, and what we're going to do is to place our blog URL in the URL field. Now, in some cases, you may find that the blog has automatically been added to the navigation bar with the URL already pre-populated. However, if it isn't and you want to set it up, you can just place the URL for your blog inside of your new link. And you can call this blog whatever you want to call it. Now, in this case, what we can do is we can decide to open it in a new tab. And to make sure that we only see individuals that are going to be part of the school and part of the activity, is we're only going to make it visible to individuals that are going to be logged in. We're then going to click Add Link. Now, when individuals are logged into their coaching program or to their courses, if they are part of that school, they're going to see the community link at the very top of the navigation where we placed it. They'll be able to click then on the community, and they'll then be able to participate in the community. Now, what this means is that you are going to organize your products and coaching within schools, so only the individuals that you want participating with specific conversations you are going to have in specific schools, since your community or your blog is going to be school specific. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I'll see you in another process. Hello and welcome. Now, as the recording of this video, there is no forum or community component inside of a school for your Teachable courses or for your Teachable coaching. However, one thing that you can do as a workaround is to create a blog. And so to do that, you are going to go inside of your school-specific settings. You are then going to go to the General tab. And what you're going to do is scroll down to the bottom. You're going to see that you can enable your blog. Once you do that, you're then going to click Save. What you're then going to want to pay attention to is going to be the comment area. So for example, one thing that we can do is we can enable content moderation. We can enable or disable content attachments. And then we can allow or disallow multi-level threading of responses. Once we have our choices, we're then going to click Save. What we're then going to do is we're going to go inside of the email category. What we are also going to want to do is to go inside of our notifications. And what we're going to want to see is that when a comment is posted on the thread that we've commented on, we're going to want to be notified. We're also going to want to be notified when there's a comment on one of our courses. What we're then going to want to do is we're going to want to go inside of our site. We're then going to want to go inside of our blog. We're then going to want to create a new post. What we're going to do is we're going to write in our content or our comment. We're then going to want to allow comments. We're then going to want to create our post. We're then going to want to publish our comment. What we're then going to want to do is to add in our blog to our site navigation. We can click Add a Link. And what we're going to do is to place our blog URL in the URL field. Now, in some cases, you may find that the blog has automatically been added to the navigation bar with the URL already pre-populated. However, if it isn't and you want to set it up, you can just place the URL for your blog inside of your new link. And you can call this blog whatever you want to call it. Now in this case, what we can do is we can decide to open it in a new tab, and to make sure that we only see individuals that are going to be part of the school and part of the activity is we're only going to make it visible to individuals that are going to be logged in. We're then going to click Add Link. Now when individuals are logged into their coaching program or to their courses, if they are part of that school, they're going to see the community link at the very top of the navigation where we placed it. They'll be able to click then on the community, and they'll then be able to participate in the community. Now what this means is that you are going to organize your products and coaching within schools, so only the individuals that you want participating with specific conversations you are going to have in specific schools, since your community or your blog is going to be school specific. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I'll see you in another process.